Folks, today I would like to talk to you about the fact whether Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Kriya Yoga, all these mental level exercises to find out who you are and what really God is, etc., is useful or not. That's what I want to talk to you. Before I do that, I want to remind you again and again that I'm not your guru. You are not bound to me. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. All that I'm saying is that think about it and make your own conclusion and go on your own way without really having any kind of compulsion that you should follow me, what I'm saying, etc., etc. I have to keep reminding this to you all because it's quite easy for you to get bound to me, just like what happened to several folks. In India and also in other countries. These days, people are getting attached to various, not gurus, but religious teachers, even in America. They go to only their meeting, hear what they are, only what they are saying, and they're not interested in knowing what the other folks are talking about, etc., etc. That's not a healthy trend. Anyway, coming back to this topic of Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, whether they are useful or not, um, let me give a gist of what really this Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Kriya Yoga, all the mental level yogas do. Basically, what they are suggesting is that collect information about about God, about you, who you really are, Atma, Paramatma, Brahman, Parabrahman, etc., etc., from various scriptures and what other religious teachers have told you, the other gurus have told you, explain to you, and do some research, analyze, think about it seriously, sit down in a place and do a thorough research and come to a conclusion that, for example, you are this Atma or you are this Paramatma, you are birthless, deathless, etc., etc. Then, after coming to the conclusion, be firm and never deviate from the conclusion. You be strong and against all the odds, and that is in general is the approach taught by various intellectual yoga techniques like Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Kriya Yoga, etc., etc. Basically, you are trying to do away with the normal day-to-day thoughts of your mind and think about the so-called higher level thoughts of God and make up your own conclusion after doing thorough research. This is what I have understood. I'm not a scholar of various such yogas. I never practiced any of them. So, if any of you think that missing something from this basic technique, let me know. I'll respond. Now, the problem with all these approaches is that it's one thing to do theoretical research, another thing to do is experience the practical level. For example, suppose you are in India and you want to experience how it looks like living in America, for example. The best way to do that is come to America and then experience living here rather than sitting in India, doing thorough research, collect the data from various books, and also hear from people who read such books and talk to you Even sometimes people come to America and then they give lectures comparing living in India versus living in America, etc. Even though they also have come to America, but their lecture, when you receive their lectures, it is still at the mental level, theoretical level. You can never get the practical experience, actual experience of living in America by doing whatever research you do. It's totally different one. Same things are true about realizing the so-called God, eternal unknown, as I'm used to talk about Ayeshwara and so on and so on. So keep this in mind. Now, you may say that, when you experience various things like, for example, having the three eyes, somebody putting three eyes in you, and experiencing the various lights like white light, red light, and things like that. You might have been impressed by the fact of your background, etc. That's why I told you right from the beginning that I never read any of these religious textbooks before experiencing my spiritual experiences. And I read a few books like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, Ramana, etc. before I experienced the first one, but I totally rejected them because it appeared all these things like Atma, Paramatma, etc. They're all mental level concepts. That's why I rejected them. Beyond that, I've never read any of religious textbooks before experiencing my spiritual experiences. Then another objection or common to my various experiences could be, well, you are still at a mental level when you are experiencing, for example, you had three eyes, etc. Somebody put the three eyes, or you came out of the darkness and things like that. All my spiritual experiences. Now, the point is, first of all, I told you that all these things happened after my mind was totally arrested, and you have to really feel what I meant by the mind being arrested. Unless you experience it, you will not be able to really know that your mind is really rejected. Sorry, mind is totally arrested, not rejected. Now, there may be another objection saying that, look, you might be, when you are experiencing all this thing, you must be still at your brain level, at the mental level, because otherwise, how you are going to be remembering all these things? As I told you that the experience of the white light, red light, golden lights, etc., and the experience of coming out of the darkness, being told um, by some female voice that there is this I'm birth, and I'm a living being, and things like that. Whatever I talked to you before in earlier videos about my spiritual experiences, all these things are of higher level frequency. It's not the same level of the frequency or vibration at the mental level. How do I know that? Because I could feel that experience of a totally um, uh, uh, the mental level vibration being checked, arrested, and then there is this new level of experience of various things that I talked about. In fact, there is another video I clearly talked about just God is whatever is called God is a higher level frequency, and the what people call the birthless, deathless is something which has no vibration at all. That's why it is extremely, not extremely, it is difficult to sense that vibrationless energy without really being that. Can be that you can be at a zero frequency vibration level, but you cannot really you cannot really experience being outside that, because how can you find out what zero level of frequency and vibrationless existence? There is no instrument for that. And and also the higher level vibration thing I found out, as I told you in another video, that during my first experience, my something inside my feeling of I-ness started revolving at an extremely high frequency rotation. That is, and it is at the end of that vibration, at the end of that rotation, extreme rotation, then I experienced the golden light entering into my body, not this physical body, entering into my body inside, through the opening at the top of the head. Now, this I experienced even at the physical level. You cannot really. I didn't really think about this. Sit down in a sofa, collect the information about opening of the seventh chakra, do some research as Jnana Yoga or Jnana Yogi will do, which is just actual practical experience of the top of the head is feeling of the opening of the top of the head. So it's like living in another continent, another America. For example, in America, it's a practically living there. So practically being at that level of frequency. The same thing is true with all my experiences. So bottom line is that. Um, Collecting various information by doing research, thinking about it, analyzing um, um, about God, you cannot conclude that you are Brahman, you are Atman, you are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not this intellect, etc., etc. You have to practically experience it. For that to happen, all your efforts at the mental level should stop, because if you are strongly vibrating at the mental level, then you cannot escape from the mental level vibration to the next level, higher frequency. You have to have almost like a zero um, clutch or zero attachment to the mental level frequency, or zero power at the mental level frequency before you can escape to the next level of vibration to experience various things like Shiva, Maheshwara, golden light, etc., etc. So that's what basically I want to talk to you folks. Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga and all the Kriya Yogas and so on. They're all they all appear to me as just a theoretical approach, but realizing God or whatever you want to call that one is something practical. You have to experience it practically. Only then such um, knowledge that the humanity is part of the kingdom of God, or the extension of what they call Shiv Maheshwara and the light, three lights, etc., etc. So that's what I want to talk to you folks. I'll talk to you another day, another important topic. In between, if you have any question, please leave a comment. I'll respond to it. Thank you.